Do you as a drummer feel like you can rock the pad, but then when you get to the set, it all falls apart and there's a disconnect there? You're not alone. This is a huge challenge for drummers. So let's get the pad kit connected so you can get more flow in your drumming. I'm Chris Lesso. Welcome to Life Through Rhythm. This is the LTR Drumming global community where you can become your best self through drumming. So let's go through it. The pad and the kit disconnect. But there definitely is a disconnect there. And I felt this. I remember when I wanted to play drums when I was like 7 maybe. Yeah, you got this little pad, but really you want to be playing this. And the grade school that I went to didn't have a set like many schools did today, but they had this lonely old snare drum. And it didn't even have a stand. So I remember just putting it on like a desk or chairs, like trying to make it sound like a full kit. All the beats that we loved. And when I got on the kit, it's like, this is such a different beast. It's like a kind of a different animal. It's like sitting at a cockpit of a 747 jet or something. Like, what do I do with all this? So let's see today if we can get those connected up. I'll give you a couple exercises. And what I know through being frustrated is I think I know why I couldn't get that pad to kit disconnect. So first off, let's get you on the 2 pillars of technique. Now, if you think of pillars, they hold up a structure. So the stronger your foundation is, the higher you can soar. So first thing is rebound. So basically the stick wants to bounce every time it goes down. Let that stick fly back, get out of the way, let the stick come back on its own. And we're gonna harness that energy. You can start with this. You can see it almost flies out of my hand. Now, if I were to just dribble the stick and get it going, I'm almost just thinking like I'm dribbling a basketball. It's the same feeling. I just give it a little push. The ball does all the work. For every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So it bounces, it comes back on its own. I'm just gonna get a dribble going. Feel the stick coming back. My hand's basically just going like that. The next is momentum. Now, momentum is energy that grows as it goes. So whenever you see a drummer playing in a wave, what they're doing is they're creating that energy. It's moving, like a tsunami of energy. It just goes out and there's like a throwing sensation. So it's starting in my core and I'm throwing that energy and the kit's catching it. So we could start with 2s, 3s, and 4s. So let's check this out. So I'm playing in 2s, flip that to 3s. Fours. Once you start speeding it up, the stick is kind of starting to go on its own, and it's through the power of momentum. So I've got that throw, I've got that wave, and the energy is going out and growing as it goes through my sticks and into the drum. So that's the foundation of drumming. Those 2 pillars of technique, all movement is going to be based on those rebound and momentum, and they kind of blend together. So let's take it to the kit. Now, the pad kit disconnect comes from one word: balance. That is it, balance. Now, balance is in my core, balance is on the throne. So you want to make sure you're really balanced. You got a really high quality throne. Your knees are just a little sloped down. You're balanced. Everything starts here, not in the hands. It's balance that really holds us back by getting around. So let's think in shapes as we go around the set. So I can go to my right zone, I can go to my left zone, and all of it's going to be kind of moving my balance around this area just like this. So you could even look really silly like me and just start this, go all the way over here and then all the way over here, and just feel how that affects your balance. So I'm just gonna go around in a circle and we'll go 4 hits, 3 hits, 2 hits, down to 1 hit. So you may need to slow that down, but you want to feel the rebound, just bouncing and you're moving drum to drum. So once you think of those shapes, you could use your left zone for this depending on your sound. So I've got a snare, tom, hi-hat, and I usually have a snare in my performance set, but right here I got a little pad. So I could just think of some shapes just using my left zone like that. So just discovering shapes and taking your rebound strokes around, and you'll find that, so instead of on the pad where you're just sitting there like this, now we're starting to almost become like a painter or a dancer. So maybe I'm going in like a circle, and you get really good at it because when you do a fill, that's what you're doing. You're moving in shapes and you're using the rebound. So I'm exaggerating a little bit there, but you see that movement, that flow, that's what we're gonna get just by moving those shapes around. And if you want the next level, put your foot in between your strokes. Next is momentum, where we're using the wave. Now that pumping motion that we had, where we're going in 2s, 3s, 4s, let's use 3s for this. We're gonna take that wave and move over to another drum. I saw this artist once where he took all these great drummers, put them in a pitch black room and gave them sticks that glowed. And what he did was he took photos and filmed them as they played in this pitch black room. Just imagine it, and the sticks were glowing. So what do you see? You see like light trails basically. So as they move drum to drum or hit a cymbal over here, think of it that way. We're taking the sticks and we can think in these same shapes, but now we're gonna use momentum. So I'm gonna take that accent that I had, the first hit of the wave, and I'm gonna move that to the different parts of the set. Again, I can take the foot and try to put it in between. That is challenging. You can see the effort that takes if I'm gonna cross over my zones and take this hand and go to the 4-tom. Now instead of what I had on the pad where I'm just practicing rudiments and like that, now it's like, it's becoming like a, I don't know, some kind of boxing move or something. So it's like very physical. If I'm gonna take this that I had on the pad and move it over here, you can see the effort that takes, and even anywhere on the kit, right? Because it's a big instrument that we have. Now, if I'm just playing my regular stuff, you'll feel this is very practical. If I'm gonna go from the snare to a cymbal or around, I'm moving in these exact same waves. So momentum is gonna really affect my groove. So I'm trying to throw a bit more wave in there, but you can see how this becomes just your new normal. Movement is really what that disconnect is between the pad and the kits. That's why we say how you move is how you groove. Now this last step is challenging, where we're gonna take what we did on the pad, rebound and momentum, and take it around the kit. Now I call this the Blue Man Groove. Now, if you know the Blue Man Group, those blue kind of aliens, and they drum, and they have a really great show that's been going for years. So years ago, I auditioned for the Blue Man Group. Not, I know what you're thinking because I'm bald, not one of the blue guys, but the band in the back, and they're awesome. It was a trio at that time. This was actually like decades ago, and it was what's called a cattle call, where they put an ad out and just hundreds of drummers come out. So I'm literally in line at this theater, and there's all these, I can see in the lineup all the great drummers from my city. I'm like, whoa, there's so-and-so, there's so-and-so, wow. And they let in 10 drummers at a time, and they just wanted to go through these drummers fast and just find something they liked. And I'll never forget it. It was the singer of the Blue Man Group. He basically said, all right, everybody, this is the band. They flew in from New York today to help out with the audition. They're gonna play 30 seconds of a song, and just watch it and come up and just try to mimic it as best you can. You guys ready? Okay, go. And it was literally just, okay. And the band played like a 30-second song. And it was basically like A, B, A. So I remember A was just like some kind of groove. Just a straight up groove. Now the B section was some kind of tom groove, maybe something like this. Something like that. Just think like a straight up, just kind of doing that with a little bit of the first tom in there. And then the last section was just back to that groove and then out. Now that tom section, I remember the drummer was doing this below. So playing like eighth notes, what you play in the hi-hat, just a little bit heel up in unison, over the tom groove. So as he's playing the tom groove, now notice I'm on the toms and I've got to go back and forth to tom one. So my center of balance is like moving, but meanwhile over that. And this went on for about 30 seconds, and the band director goes, okay, who wants to go first? Put up your hand. Now I remember, me included, like nobody did it exactly like that. They played like a version of it, but if you park one foot and you get your bass drum going, your balance is there, so it's not that hard. So maybe a version of it might be this. So you can see there, my left foot's not doing anything. So it's my balance is there. It's actually not that hard, but if I'm gonna go in just total unison and play that groove, man, that's like a real challenge on my balance. And I noticed no one did it, and when I went up there, I didn't do it either, because when you feel unbalanced, how does that make you feel on the set? Does that elevate your confidence or lower your confidence? It can make you feel like this small, and that's the pad and kit disconnect. We have our balance here because sometimes our feet are not really doing anything and we're just in this little space. But then we get here and we got to cover these shapes, and we have to use rebound and momentum, and our balance has to be strong. And then our feet have to be, that's this last element, we're using the feet. Our feet have to be engaged, and that's when the confidence goes down. And a lot of drummers wonder, like I used to, like, why am I so good on the pad? And it all falls apart in the kit. So if you take I kind of call it the Blue Man exercise. It still kicks my ass today. I'm going to share with you right now. I'll do some version of it. But just get the feet going in unison. And one thing is just play some stuff on tom one and see if you can like move your hands up and keep your feet going just barely heel up, and just play some stuff and see if you can survive there. Because I always used to feel, that took me a while to really feel it in my core. I used to feel like I was like falling forward or falling back, and then eventually I got it. So if you start slow, you'll get it. So maybe part one might look like this. might not go that fast. You might not be playing that stuff. Just start with duh, 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 duh. Start slow, build it up. Now next, take that groove that you can do. You can start slow, try to throw in some tom ones, just that type of thing. And maybe bring this hand up too, which is now it's going to add this movement. Think like a dancer, right? Think like a painter or dancer. Now I'm throwing this up here. So maybe that type of stuff. But over the feet. That's a challenge, and even as I do it, I'm feeling, oh, it's like just on the verge of falling apart. Unison strokes, balance, movement, it all kind of ties together there. So you may be just starting really, really slow, but just getting that tom one over the unison feet, it's a game changer, and it's one of the rituals that I love to do here with all the drummers in this community, called the Blue Man Groove from the Blue Man Group, because how you move is how you groove. So get the pad and the kit more connected through movement, because that's what we're doing here. You're thinking like a dancer, you're thinking like a martial artist with a strong core center, speaking your voice through drumming. So keep rocking it, keep those sticks in your hand. My name's Chris Lesso. Join the LTR drumming community. We got millions of drummers here around the world becoming their best selves through drumming.